Pagi kawan, ketemu lagi di Planet Zoo. Setelah sebelumnya kita tutorial Goodwin, dan nampaknya udah selesai sih. Sekarang kita lanjut ke Madagascar Simian Conservation. Okay, so here we go.
Welcome to Madagascar.
Oh,
It's
hello,
quite the
Bernie.
change of scenery from dreary old England, huh? Apart from the weather, I suppose. They don't call these places rainforests for nothing. The zoo you'll be working in is an ape
Kenapa
sanctuary,
selalu receh?
where we're doing vitally important conservation work. Not just for apes, but for all kinds of
Oh,
species. But apes,
Zoha.
well, apes are some of the closest
Wih,
relatives to
keren sih.
humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well,
Wih,
very much like some of us
bambu
treat
nih.
our actual relatives. Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than we
Bikin
found
dua
it,
level gitu,
we
di
have
level
lived
yang
life
atas dia
worth living. And speaking of
ngeliat
states, I have a horrible feeling I left the
ke
house in the
bawah
right one.
binatang-binatangnya.
When I get back,
Keren
I
sih.
expect my life won't be worth living at all.
What do you think of
Oh,
Madagascar then?
Nancy.
Bit warm
Kita
for my
bertemu
tastes, to be
lagi.
honest. Anyway, this is Bernie's primate sanctuary. It's not just primates though.
Jadi
We've got all
Bernie ini
sorts of
ceritanya
animals.
mungkin
So why don't we go and have a look at
punya
some of them, eh?
beberapa kebun
We'll
binatang.
start
Salah
by taking a
satunya
look at the red-ruffed lemurs.
ini kayaknya
They're the
semuanya
ones that look like they should be in a Shakespeare
apes
play.
ya,
Come on, let's head over to them.
monyet. Oke, so here we go. New tutorial. Kita lihat akan seperti apa. Oke, highlight.
Red-ruffed lemurs are found in the rainforests of Masuala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years.
Lama juga.
See that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
Oh, orangutan Indonesia. Indonesia linker gitu ya. Ada masih danau kecil, perahu juga. Nggak tahu pohonnya Indonesia banget nggak ya? Tapi keren sih. Ih, asik dia ngelingkar gitu. Oke, kita lihat.
The Bornean orangutan is such a
Of
marvelous
course lah.
creature. They're always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in, and they're also the biggest tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one. Oh, why don't you take a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera.
Oh, jadi menurut si Nancy ini yang nggak tahu deh bener apa nggak, kayaknya sih bener ya. Jadi orangutan itu binatang yang paling besar untuk yang bisa bergelantungan, yang bisa hidup di pohon ya. Oke, enter Bornean animal camera. Oh, Agung. Namanya Agung. Siapa? Gesang. Indonesia banget ya. Apa sih? Kuantiti. Oh, makanan. Mawar. Sebut saja mawar. Namanya Indo semua ya. Iya sih. Hah? Luka. Ini ada mawar, ini Agung, ini Luka. Astaga, ini kecil lagi siapa? Sarwendah. Ini nggak mungkin sih mereka asal caplok, nggak tahu, mungkin ada orang utan di reservasi di Indonesia yang memang namanya Sarwendah ya, bayi orang utan. Nggak mungkin sih mereka bisa ngambil nama Sarwendah, masih banyak nama Indonesia yang lain ya bisa Sarwendah gitu. Oke, ada agung, mawar, gesang, sarwendah. Cuma ya luka ini nih. Luka main piano lagi. Keyboard. Main lah. Angkain doang. Oke, kamera. Kita ke luka aja. Nama yang aneh buat Indonesia.
Aren't they just incredible? When you're ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
Oh, tunggu. Gue masih pengen lihat orang hutan Indonesia. By the way, gue masih rada kagok ya mainin handling kameranya. Nggak biasa banget sih. Wah, glitch. Dia turun di situ. Kamera. Wish. Wih, cakep. Oh, dia lompat. Oke, don't be shy. Is. Masih ya aktivitasnya bener-bener diperhatiin. Siapa nih ngalangin? Oke. Siapa sih? Gesang. Halo Gesang. Betina apa sih? Betina apa jantan tadi gesang ini? Okay. Male jantan. Keren sih. Kebun binatang Indo aja nggak gini loh. Di Ragunan ada nggak sih tuh? Orangutan ada lah ya. Gue lupa aja. Ya, cuma Ragunan tuh fasilitasnya, terutama toiletnya ya, terakhir kesana tahun berapa ya? Setahun lalu, pada tahun lalu gitu pas Lebaran. Ya rame memang. Ya enggak banget lah infrastrukturnya, toilet ya udah toilet cuma toilet jadi-jadian gitu, terus kotor, jorok, nggak banget sih. Dan kapasitasnya tuh jumlahnya nggak sesuai sama perbandingan orangnya gitu, jadi PR besar sih buat kebun binatang Ragunan. Nggak tahu deh itu APBD apa enggak sih tuh kebun binatang Ragunan, PBD DKI Jakarta. Oh, dia makan dan udah ditungguin makanannya. Main bola dong, bisa nggak sih main bola? Bisa kayak gitu. Oke, tinggal dulu ya Gesang, Mawar, Agung, Sarwendah, dan Duka. Kita ke habitat atau kandang lain. Oke, ini kemana nih?
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has
Oh, kandangnya
collapsed.
jebol.
And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But
Okay.
before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too. Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
Oke. Oh, jebol. Sebolong kenapa?
Good. Now open the animals tab.
Here we go.
And click on Box All Animals to box up the remaining bonobos.
Okay. Box.
Now, we'll need a vet to recapture that escaped bonobo, but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation. So, we'll need to hire a replacement, Sharpish.
Sharpish.
Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area. You can find all of your staff in here, but there's no time to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire a vet.
Hire a vet. Wih, stoknya baik banget. Vendor tuh apa sih? Toko kali ya. Dia.
Now, click on one of the paths to place the vet in your zoo.
Okay.
Great. Now let's deal with our escapee before they can cause too much havoc. Use the animal alerts to jump to the escaped bonobo.
Bonobo. Oh, yang lari banyak. Lemurnya juga kabur. Bandel kalian.
And then click on the call vet button to call the vet over to capture it.
Oh, call vet. This one?
Okay, that's a relief. So while the vet deals with our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again. Head back over there.
Okay. Oh, tadi kayaknya ada yang kabur banyak deh. Oke deh. Apa nih visiting player? Salt Lucas. Ini beneran mereka visit nggak sih ke sini? Maksudnya player lain. Ini kayak player lain. Erwin Lee, Salt Lucas Pitti. Nggak ngerti sih. Nanti kita cek aja. Ya ntar lah. Balik lagi ke kandang bonobo. Dah.
As you can see, the barrier's collapsed. Someone's taken their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one.
Kopet sih. Dan press delete. Delete mana? Nggak bisa. Ya ampun. Kliknya gimana ya? Nah, ini kali delete. Nah, terus kita ini berubah V-nya gimana sih? Ini kali ya biar rapi. Kill snap. Make labels.
Good. Now that we've done that, we need to make sure to add climb-proof barriers to the top. That way the bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do that. Okay, so go into the options section and select which side the climb-proof barrier needs to go on. And don't get it wrong. We're more worried about bonobos climbing out than guests climbing in.
Okay. Climb-proof, none, left, right. Maksudnya apa sih tadi? Oh, yang luarnya nggak. Oh, jadi dibikin licin kali ya? Gimana tuh? Oh, salah. Right. Nah. Udah kan? Oh, ini belum. Nah,
Nicely done. And I think it's high time we
potong ini
unbox those
jelek banget
bonobos,
tadi.
wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long. Select the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again.
Oke.
And then open the Animals tab.
Animals tab.
And finally, click on Unbox All Animals to let them out.
Oke.
I expect some of them are fair bursting for the toilet. So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too. We'll need to hire a couple of new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts. You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important jobs is taking care of the habitat barriers. Without mechanics around to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble, and fall down. And before you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again.
Oke.
Hire a mechanic and then click on a path to place them in the zoo.
Ini banyak banget sih. Caretakers, kiper apa, caretakers apa, mekanik, vendors, penjaga, ada vet juga. Keren sih, komplek. Ya, jadi kalau masih pada ingat, Zoo Tycoon tuh kayak cuma ada caretaker sih, maksudnya yang ngurus binatang sama yang ngurus fasilitas kebun binatang, ya kayak bersihin sampah terutama, ya cuma itu ya, sama nyambut tamu kali, nggak tahu, asal sih lupa sih, kayak cuma dikit ya. Di Planet Zoo ini ada banyak ya, jadi benar-benar didesain sedemikian kompleks supaya pastinya lebih seru aja. Oke, hire mechanic.
And then click on the path again to hire a second mechanic.
Okay.
As you can see, you don't have to go back into staff management if you're hiring lots of the same type of staff member.
Okay,
Gosh, we have
finish.
been busy, haven't we? Good work there. I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with
Okay.
you.
Silakan Bernie.
Oh, I hear you had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo. The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly, and more importantly, without the animal stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
You see, another key responsibility for our vets is animal research. Researching animals allows vets to unlock new enrichment items, additional information for our education resources, enhanced breeding programs, and improvements to food quality. The animals' food, not the vets. It'll take more than a research grant to improve the staff canteen. Anyway, as you can see, research is a key part of running your zoo. In order for a vet to undertake research, they require a research centre. And once again, that's something that this zoo is missing. So let's build one. I've marked out an area for you to put it.
Okay. Complete. Continue. I mark. Oh, this one. Go research ya. Ini apa sih, kok masih ini?
Now, you've probably noticed that there's already a building where I want you to build the research centre.
Okay.
Don't worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell. So we're able to place our new building inside of it. If you select the research centre for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research centre to the existing building.
Make sure it's connected.
Okay,
to pet.
click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though. First, we'll need to rotate our research centre so it automatically connects to the path when we place it.
Kayak tutorial sebelumnya ya. Place a research center. Mana nih? Oh, ini di sini. Research center. Cuma ini. Terus rotate. Gitu. Oke. Terus lah, udah kan pas kan? Apa sih? Mana objektif? Build a research center. Udah. Delete dulu kali. Scientist research center. Kok ngapa sih? Suruh ngapain sih? Apa sih ini? Oh, banyak research center ya. Make sure it's connected to pet. Ih, asli dah. Enggak. Set. Ini itu depannya.
Right. Splendid work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research
ngadep ya.
centre, we can give our vets something to do in there. Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you can change what jobs a vet does via their information panel. But let's not worry about that just now. So, let's get our vet researching ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select vet research.
Zoo section. Vet research. So this one.
Here, you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now,
Iyalah sih ada
try and
fasilitas
drop your
research
vet
di
onto the
umur
ring-tailed lemur
penyakit,
to start their
bakterial,
research.
toksis. Drag and drop vet into the. Oh ini. Terus kemana? Ring tail, oh ya.
Actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat. Let's head over there and add some, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights.
Fair. Kemana? Oh di.
First off, let's pop down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a height that guests can see, or, if you like, pop them down on a stand.
Down on the stairs. Mana sih? Ini kemana? Aku coba buatnya. Set. Nih.
Okay, now that they've been put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about. Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel.
Apa sih?
And from the drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur. Although I'm sure that last part was obvious. When you link an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as
Ya
much.
iyalah, masa informasinya binatang yang lain.
Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading.
Laborious.
Oh, one thing to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said.
Oke. Sini ya.
Now we simply need to link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs, just like you did with the education boards. Fantastic! Oh, it's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work. They won't do much good without it. Oh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs. We'll need to collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area. Go on, collect your research
Okay.
rewards. Just so you know, vets will
Complete
continue
it.
to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level. I suppose when you're in the
You are in the
zone, you're in the
zone.
zone. Well, now that we've enriched the lives of our guests, let's enrich the lives of our ring-tailed lemurs. Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space, and you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame. Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them and bring up their information panel.
Oke. Kok susah sih?
Next, click on the Terrain tab.
Enter.
Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the
Aku
way, it's
climbingnya
not
bisa
always
bangun
just
dari
climbing needs that you have
dari
to worry
nol.
about.
Wah,
Other animals
gila.
might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes.
Climbing. Ini ya. Pas ini di tengah gitu. Kalau di pinggir dia kabur nggak sih? Tuh bisa nggak sih?
Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them.
Nutupin
They're going
makanan
to
dong.
absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though?
Nicer
Nicer
food.
food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat.
Mana? Tuh great tuh. Enrichment. Mana sih? Yang mana ya? Specialty. Oh, apa nih? Oke. Perintahnya food quality to create.
Lovely. Now select the Animals tab.
Asal gue udah kesini.
There we go. As you can see, we can set the food quality in here. Just click on the drop-down menu and select Grade 2 Food Quality. Grade 2 Food Quality. My mouth's already watering.
Dia yang ngiler.
So, a new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really spoilt those lemurs rotten. Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities. Releasing animals into the wild. You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well, their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old. They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits we'll be rewarded when we release them. Now, conservation credits are vitally important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat.
Seru sih. Jadi, ya gue pernah nonton sini di lupa Discovery apa Net Geo gitu. Kalau ada satu kebun binatang, gue lupa, kayaknya daerah salju-salju gitu, entah Kanada apa US ya. Jadi mereka tuh bikin kebun binatang kecil, penangkaran beberapa binatang. Tujuannya itu cuma satu, melepas mereka, breeding mereka, terus nanti ngelepas mereka gitu di saat yang tepat. Jadi bukan uang ya, nggak tahu, sebelumnya kan gue pikir bikin kebun binatang ya cuma buat uang, ternyata ada tujuan lebih mulia, yaitu biar preservation lah, untuk melepas binatang buat mereka, melepas di alam liar buat mereka nanti ya kembali membentuk habitat lagi, membentuk komunitasnya mereka lagi gitu. Jadi ya tujuannya itu, nggak semata-mata cuma uang. Dan di sini ya tujuannya itu salah satunya. Ya, nggak tahu sih, ya gue pikir cuma kebun binatang itu aja, ternyata mungkin tujuan dari inti visinya lah kalau bangun kebun binatang tuh ya untuk meningkatkan populasi mereka gitu di alam liar. Oke, let's continue. Kita ke orangutan.
Okay, I'd like you to find
Kita mau
Ageng, the
lepas,
Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the Animals tab in the Habitat Information panel, and find him in the Animals list.
Animal list. Agung, siapa tadi? Oh ini, namanya nggak benar sih di sini. Ya ampun. Mana Agung? Ini. Wah, rilis Agung. Ya ampun, lagi tidur enak-enak. Gue rilis gitu. Wah. Lifespan. Dia mau rilis binatang juga milih binatangnya itu mesti binatang yang masih oke ya. Sudah siap lah bawahnya. Dia nggak terlalu muda atau umurnya terlalu kecil. Takutnya mereka nggak siap. Bayangin aja coba misalnya anak macan gitu dilepas, ya nggak mungkin lah. Atau nggak terlalu tua gitu. Biar mereka punya survival skillnya masih ada di alam liar sih. Rilis, nanti kalau rilis ini dapat, tadi bilang apa, konversi. conversion status apa poin ya? Release.
I know it's sad to see him go, but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong, and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
Thank you. Of course I am, Nancy.
Ah, I see you've been doing some homework. Although it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I imagine I'd have got much better grades at school if there'd been less algebra and more aldebra. Tortoises.
Okay, so far we've done a lot of work with habitat animals, but now it's time to learn all about exhibit animals. Let's build a brand new exhibit. I've marked an area for our new exhibit. How about we head over there?
Oke, lanjut tutorial berikutnya. Exhibit itu yang kayak kandang kecil-kecil gitu nggak sih, kayak tempat reptil, tempat ular biasanya. Oh iya, kayaknya sih ya.
Lovely. Now let's build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research center earlier. Then pop it into the gap.
Okay. Exhibit. Ini kayaknya research center kan tadi dibilang. Set. Makan dulu lah. Ini deh. Ini mungkin nggak pas aja oleh tempatnya. Angel snap. How to nggak bisa ya ini tadi ini nggak bisa
Perfect. The next thing to do is adopt an exhibit animal
Udah
to go in
bingungin
there.
ya.
How about a Gila monster? Open up the exhibit trading section and adopt one.
trading. Astaga, jadi selain binatang-binatang yang ada di animal trading gitu, binatang yang apa ya, besar-besar mungkin, ada juga pasarnya buat kita ngurusin binatang yang kecil-kecil. Ini salah satunya nih, Gila monster. Gila mbak, dari mana sih ini Gila monster ini? Zoopedia juga. Heloderma suspectum, population in wild. Siapa yang mau ngitung juga unknown lah. Near threatened. Hampir terancam. Southern United States. Jadi antara Meksiko Amerika ya. American black scale. Dibunuh oleh human. Di sini keren, species data. The young become fully grown Gila monster after a period of between 3 and 5 years. Research unlock. Okay. Gila monster.
Just as we do with habitat animals, we need to send the Gila monster to the exhibit. Click on the exhibit to send it there.
Okay. Send to zoo.
When you send an animal to an exhibit, it'll automatically be given the correct setup.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean it's completely ready for them. So let's finish it off. We'll start by adding some enrichment items. Click on the exhibit to bring up its information panel.
Okay.
Good. Now click on the layout tab. Oh, well, it looks like we've only got the enrichment level 1 items unlocked at the moment. Never mind, let's turn on at least one of them for the Gila monster. As I'm sure you know by now, you can unlock more enrichment levels by having one of your vets do some research. Now we'll also need to set the temperature and humidity in the exhibit. These are vitally important for keeping our Gila monster happy and comfortable. Click on the climate tab.
Okay.
Here you can see the Gila monster's desired temperature and humidity. You can change both of these by adjusting the dials below. Make sure it's going to be nice and cozy.
Banyak banget. Cilin. Ini keren ini. Jadi itu pengatur suhunya itu nggak langsung truk otomatis. Jadi kayak bener-bener dia tuh ada prosesnya mau ke arah situ. Bener-bener diperhatiin banget sih simulasinya ini. Kecilin lagi. Okay, pas.
That's the ticket. And the last thing we need to look at is setting up the different windows. So click on the Windows tab.
Windows tab.
You can edit and customize any of the windows on an exhibit.
Astaga.
A window can be closed and
Jendelanya
blank, or have a
diperhatiin.
two-dimensional background, or even a three-dimensional background
gila
on
banget sih,
it.
bro.
Why don't you have a play around with the options?
Keren. Ini ada 4 ya. Oh, sisi jendelanya. Ada satu yang mana? Oh, 1, 2 yang depan, 3
There's
samping.
also an exhibit education board. Pop them down near your exhibits to teach your guests about them. Let's add one now.
Ini kali ya. Wes, biar 3D. Asik. Oke. Tadi ngapain? Exhibition board. Oh, facilities. Ya ampun. Ini ya. Mana sini?
Just like the education boards and speakers we put down for the ring-tailed lemurs, you'll need to link these to the Gila monster.
Okay.
Go on. Lovely stuff. Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now, I've got a bit of a big job for you. I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo. You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them. Go on, off you pop. I'll check in with you when you're almost done.
Okay. At least 12 species in the zoo. Sekarang 9. Yes. Sebelum lanjut, ini gila banget sih sampai apa ya? Ini diperhatiin gitu binatang yang kecil-kecil begini exhibitnya. Kompleks banget. Oh. So far oke banget sih, puas banget ya. Walaupun masih terutama tadi placement tempat bangunan tuh masih rada aneh sih. Oke, mungkin sekian video kali ini. Kita lanjut next time. Semoga ada perspektif baru di video ini. Oke, gitu aja. Selamat pagi. See you next time.